You do not need to be concerned with these edges being even or lining the edges up with your presser foot. Generally, you just line up or make sure that the pieces cover your sections and stitch approximately on the stitch lines. And my stitch line between sections 1 and 2 is right here. I'm going to basically kind of stitch on that line. No need to back stitch. You can trim your seam allowances down to approximately 1/4 of an inch, but it's really not necessary because those layers will get covered. Then you want to flip section 2 right side up and finger press. Now I deliberately chose a piece that does not totally cover section 2. As you can see, this part is showing. If that is the case, that is no concern in crazy quilt patches. Crazy quilt patches are very forgiving. What you simply do is you stitch your next piece to cover that up. This is why crazy patch quilting is so nice, because it's not concerned with being accurate. And I'm just covering up that section. And I'm not going to trim this time. I'm just going to flip it over and finger press. And since I do have quite a bit there, I am going to trim that fabric piece a little bit. So that at least I can see my next section. Which is section 3, and there's section 3. And again, my section 3, there's layers, and the layers are very forgiving in a crazy quilt because you generally will either trim the excess or you can leave. So section 3 is underneath, and I just need a piece big enough to cover that. I'm going to trim away so that I can see a little bit more of section 3. Right sides together. And flip. Again, you can trim or the excess or leave the layers. And I've covered section 3, and I'm going to trim away the excess of this piece that I just stitched to section 3 so I can see the next section over.